Hi everybody. Today we're going to get started seated. So find a nice comfortable seat, cross-legged, or whatever seat feels comfortable for you today. And if sitting on the ground nice and tall is difficult for you, just bring a blanket, a folded up blanket under your seat to help lift the pelvis up a little bit. And we'll start to settle in here. So finding your comfortable seat, allowing the arms to really rest on the tops of the knees here, or the thighs, or whatever is there for you. Think of your spine as being nice and long. So maybe visualize the base of your tailbone all the way up to the crown of the head, and make any adjustments that you need to help make that line nice and tall. So maybe pull your shoulders back, tuck your chin a little bit, soften the gaze or close the eyes and start to tune into the breath. Just kind of notice the ease of the breath today, if any. It's not always easy. And maybe on the next inhale, you start to deepen that breath just a little bit, expanding the middle of the body. Feeling your body gently rise up with that breath. And then sighing it out, feeling the sensation of your body rooting down into the ground, becoming heavier. Just a few more breaths like this. And if there are any thoughts that are kind of intruding right now and taking you away from being here in this moment, being present, maybe you visualize them in a box. Put them in a box, put the lid on the box, and watch yourself leaving those things right outside of the room that you're in, right outside of the door, waiting for you if you choose to pick them up after the class. Let's take one more deep breath here and sigh it out. Very good. Start to open up the eyes here. Roll out the neck and the shoulders. And we're going to come into a seated cat-cow. So bringing your hands to the tops of the knees or the thighs, sitting up nice and tall. We're going to inhale and think of cow pose, dropping the belly down, pulling the chest in front of the shoulders, arching the spine. Chin comes up a little bit. Exhale. Really round through the spine this time. Chin comes to chest. Pull those shoulder blades apart. Inhale, slide that chest forward. Shoulders come back. Exhale, hunch the shoulders forward, round through the spine. Really press out through the shoulder blades. A few more times at your pace. Let's take two more here. Last one. Very good. Let's start to find our way back to neutral. And let's get into the shoulders just a little bit. So we're going to open up the left arm nice and wide, maybe even back a little bit. And then exhale, we're going to bring it across the chest and grab on with the opposite arm just to kind of stretch into the shoulder a little bit, pulling this arm all the way over to the side. Maybe the gaze comes all the way to the left. On the next inhale, let's open up both arms this time. And exhale, we'll find that stretch on the other side. So right arm comes across this time. Really hooking on to the part of the arm that allows you to kind of get the most leverage here. Taking a few breaths. And inhale to release. Shake it out a little bit here. Let's bring the fingertips down to the mat here. And on the inhale, we're gonna flip the palms up. Touch the fingers right to the top. Lift up, almost like somebody's pulling you from the sky here. And exhale, reaching those fingertips out all the way down to the mat here. Inhale again, flip the palms up, reaching up. Maybe the gaze comes up. And exhale, flip the palms down, reach the fingertips down. A couple more times here. Inhale, reaching up. And exhale, down. One last time. Inhale to reach up. And exhale, down. Very good. Let's come to tabletop position from here. So hands and knees, taking your time. We're gonna come into a modified plank. So walk your hands ahead of the shoulders a bit. Keep the knees, the hips stacked over the knees, and we're gonna start to shift the weight forward. You can bring the feet off the mat. Bring the elbows back, wrap them around. Shift the weight down into, or up into the upper body. And then exhale, press the hips back for a little modified child's pose. Inhale, shift forward. We'll find this a few more times. Find some of that upper body strength. And exhale, hips back. Last one here. Very good. Let's take a beat here, just a few breaths in your version of child's pose. So if you want to take your knees out nice and wide and bring the big toes to touch, go ahead and do that. Finding some length in the spine. Maybe your forehead comes down to the mat, maybe it comes to the prop. Maybe it just hangs out if that feels good. Last breath here. Inhale, start to shift the weight forward. Back to tabletop position, and we'll find a downward facing dog. So curl the toes under, and we'll lift the knees up. Hips come up to the sky. Taking a breath or two here. And then bending into the knees and finding your forward fold. So you can walk the feet to the hands or the hands to the feet. And then meet me at the top of the mat in a forward fold. One more breath here. Just letting go. On the next inhale, we're going to bring the hands to the waist. Bring that spine nice and long. Press the chest forward, hinge at the hips. Press into the heels and the thighs, come all the way up. Lift those arms up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Taking a few breaths here. Again, finding that tall spine, so tuck the chin a little bit, draw the shoulders back slightly. Chest comes forward. Dropping the hands here, we're going to step back for a warrior two. So the right foot is going to step back. Taking your time to find your grounding. Bend into that front knee. Back leg is nice and strong. Arms come out to a T here. Gaze comes over the middle finger. Next, inhale, extended side angle. So we're gonna bring the front arm down to the top of that front thigh and extend that back arm up. And let's make some circles here. So bring that arm all the way around and then back up. And then we'll find the opposite direction. Pressing into the feet, legs are strong. So 2 times on each side. And then on the next inhale, back to warrior 2. Spreading those fingertips away from each other, relaxing the shoulders down, hands to the waist here, and on the inhale, we'll step forward. 1 or 2 or 3 little steps. Getting a little dicey here on the sand. And for the next posture, we're gonna step back with the left foot for warrior 2. I'm gonna switch directions so I'm facing you. So taking your time here. Bringing those arms up, finding your warrior 2. Really sitting into the thigh, back leg is strong, pressing into the heel, really pressing into the knife edge of the foot in the back. And on the next inhale, extended side angle. So reaching up and over. And let's find our rotations here. So 1 and 2. And then we'll switch directions. 1, really reaching forward. And 2. Finding your warrior 2 again. Next inhale, hands come to the waist. And let's pivot the feet forward. We're gonna come into a little wide-legged forward fold. So get your grounding together. Toes are slightly out, heels are slightly in. Lift the arms up here. And exhale, bend into the knees and hinge at the hips. Coming down with a long spine, bringing the hands all the way down to the ground or to your props or to your body. And just letting that head spill open into the ground here. Bending, keeping a bend in the knees if you need it, if you feel like you're straining behind the legs or behind the knees. Bend and sit into that a little bit. Allow your body to support you in different ways. So if it feels good, maybe you kind of sway from side to side, so bending into one knee. And then the other for a little half squat action. Just finding what feels good in the body today. Coming back to center, and we're gonna make our way up here. So on an inhale, hands come to the thighs. Press your way up, nice and gently, nice and tenderly, nice and slow. Inhale the arms up here. Exhale the arms out, bring the chin down. Really reach those arms out in opposite directions. Drop the shoulders, rest the arms down. On the next inhale, we're gonna bring the hands behind the back and clasping for the hands. So interlace the fingers or just grab the hands. If that's out of reach for you, grab a towel or a strap or anything that you can use to grab behind you to create some space. And roll the shoulders back, chest comes forward, sitting into the knees a little bit here. On an inhale, bring that chest forward even more. And on an exhale, we're gonna bend into the knees and hinge at the hips and find a forward fold here. Allowing the arms to rest on the low back, or you can lift them up if that's there for you. One more breath here. Release the hands. Hands come to the waist here. Lift up, hinge at the hips, long spine, pull that chest forward, come all the way up, arms come up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Drop the hands to the sides, we'll step to the front of the mat here. Next inhale, arms come up for upward salute. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale to halfway lift. Long spine here. Exhale, plant the hands down. We're going to find our downward facing dog. So taking your time. Pressing the weight back. Shift that right leg up if it's there for you. Totally optional. Keeping the leg nice and long. Foot is flexed. And step it down on an exhale. Inhale, left leg up. Flexing that foot. Squaring the hips down to the mat. Exhale, step down. Come down onto the knees on the next exhale. And from here, we're going to come to our back. So coming to laying on the back here. And we're going to have a bend in the knees. So making your way down, cushioning your head if you'd like. And we're just going to find a figure 4 here. So let's bring the right foot to the top of the left knee. And a couple options from here. If you feel a hip opening just right here, then keep it here. The other option would be to interlace the hands under the opposite knee and to hug this leg in closer. Or you can just grab onto the shin and kind of pull it a little closer to the body. Just work with whatever feels good today. Just stretching out that hip flexor. Allowing the breath to flow naturally. And then when you're ready, we'll find this on the other side. So bringing that right foot down. Left foot comes to the top of the right knee this time. And find the version of this posture that suits you. And maybe it's different on this side. Last breath here. And then release on the exhale. We're going to bring our knees into chest for Apanasana. So we'll take a big inhale here. And exhale, draw the knees into the chest. Give yourself a nice hug. Maybe rock from side to side if that feels good. And then for here, we're going to rock up into a seat, or you can push up to one side and find a seat that way. A little dicey on the sand here. Make your way sitting up nice and tall. Relaxing the shoulders down. And then we're going to bring our feet in front of us. We're going to come into boat pose. So soles of the feet to the ground in front of you. And a couple of options here. You can bring your hands down behind and lift the feet up, engaging the core. And this is absolutely a fine boat pose. Otherwise, maybe try to keep your arms lifted. So shifting the weight back, lifting one leg and then the other. Palms come forward. Activate the core. Squeeze the thighs together. One more breath. And exhale, lower all the way down. Finding your final Shavasana here. Just taking a moment to connect with that breath. And then let it go. Allow the breath to flow naturally without pushing it deeper or pressing to expand the body. Just let it find its own natural rhythm. Soften the face. Adjust your body for comfort if you need it. allowing the sounds of the waves to wash over you. Allowing the sounds of the waves to nurture and nourish you and to transform you, to take you away from wherever you are and bring you right here. Imagine the salty air and the sea mist on your skin. The caress of the damp and warm ocean air. The wind in your hair. Through the power of being present and breathing with intention, you can really transform yourself in any way. Your mood, your heart rate. And with that, I will leave you here. You may choose to extend your Shavasana or gently bring movement or invite some movement back into your limbs and lift yourself up to continue with the rest of your day. Thank you so much for joining me.